All right, so welcome Powerhouse, welcome YouTube to this training today. It's going to be a special training for sure. It's going to be a fire training. It's very, very relevant to, where we are in time today, right? So I want to start with just a little bit of background and something that I feel like is good perspective. And once I understood this, this really let us know that we're in the easiest time to really, get the tools we need, get the resources we need in order for us to fulfill our purpose. You know what I mean? In order for us to build a business, in order for us to help people, whatever that might mean to you, it's never been easier, right? So the reason I say that, right? So just a quick history lesson, like check out this perspective, right? It was actually from Myron Golden that I learned this specific thing here. And he said that the wealthiest people in the world, right, in history, as far as we have recorded it, are making money really based off of their understanding of what kind of era that we're in. Right. So I think that's very important. So for example, we're not going to go all the way back to, the pyramids as much as I'd like to, but we're going to keep it, fairly 20th century here. So when you think about, for example, the age of agriculture, right? The age where the people who owned the land are the people who really accumulated the wealth, right? If you had, acreage, you had, a place to grow vegetables, a place to raise animals, and those were the people that were really able to control the wealth, right? The ones who controlled the land, right? So because of that abundance of food and because of that abundance of just, resources being farmed and that kind of thing, right? That gave birth to the era of distribution, right? So in the era of distribution, the people that really succeeded there were the ones that were able to, get that food, get those resources, and put it on people's front doorstep. You know what I mean? Or the grocery store or whatever it might be. So, as I'm going down this list, just remember that the previous era or the previous age gives the necessity and gives the birth for the following age, right? So that's how distribution came along. Just so y'all know, that's, network marketing is a distribution, right? We're distributing a product that people want, that people need, and we're making it, easy for them to access. So that business model as well, not just like the shipping, the grocery store, the delivery businesses, but any sort of distribution really came about during that era, right? After that, that's what gave just that need for the industrial age, right? So as distribution kind of started to ramp up, we know we needed, trains to be able to move that product a lot faster. We needed cars went into production during this era. As you know, Henry Ford is the one that really took advantage of the cars. People like JP Morgan, Dale Carnegie, Rockefeller, these are names that we still hear of today as like giants because they were able to take advantage of their era, right? They controlled the oil, they controlled the railroads, so they controlled in turn pretty much 90% of the economy, right? Which was very very, very crucial. And when you think about, for example, like Ford coming in and trying to create a business model off of have like letting everybody have control of their own transportation, the people who are running the railroads weren't as happy. You know what I mean? But it always breeds for evolution, efficiency, that kind of thing. And that kind of thing gave birth to the technological era, right? So the technology era, Sam Walton basically, hired a group of people from IBM to really, keep track of inventory, keep track of sales, keep track of different things, right? So that's when technology came around to even advance and make more efficient the developments that we had up to that point. You know what I mean? So technological, I'm not going to go through the whole history lesson, but the technological era gave birth to the information era. Okay. And the information era is the era of the internet, as we know, obviously like Bill Gates, for example, Steve Jobs, people like that, you know what I mean? Jeff Bezos, they really took advantage of the information era, right? As we know, Facebook, Apple, these kinds of companies, just because of how much information they're collecting, they're able to take advantage in so many different ways, right? So this is where I'm kind of getting to here, and this is why this type of training is so important, is because we're now transitioning not only from the information era, right? So there's endless information you can pull up on endless, different platforms. So what we're kind of transitioning to now, and this is not, something he said, but this is I'm taking this and kind of like how I'm seeing it is we're in the age of answers now, right? So there's a big difference between information and answers. You know what I mean? So information is just random. It could be random facts, random data. When you're talking about, we're in the era now where we can, the quality of your answers is going to be dependent on the quality of the questions you ask. You feel me? Just like in a spiritual sense, like the value of what you receive or what you manifest is based off of the information or the communication between you and that frequency, you and that universe, right? So now, you know what I mean? We got computers, we got cell phones with Chat GPT on them. We have, most of us here are part of this amazing academy who's been taking advantage of artificial intelligence for 10 years now. You know what I mean? So Chris Terry developed a software that was scanning the markets 24/7, and not like the information would be like the trading view chart. We're talking about this man's giving us answers with the level scanner, with harmonic scanner, right? So we have access, guys, like it's never been this easy, right? I just want you guys to kind of realize, what it really took to create wealth in the past and then where we're at now, right? Being the I think personally the easiest time in history to be able to do that. So in this age, family, and I learned this way before I got into, I'm academy trading, anything like that. But I heard this quote, I don't know exactly who, I believe it was Einstein, but he said that knowledge is not the accumulation of information. It's knowing where to find it. You know what I mean? Another way to really phrase that is, in this era, in this age that we're living in, is not the people who have accumulated a bunch of knowledge and they have it stored in their hard drive, but it's the people that know where to find that answer. You know what I mean? So I don't have to know what 1,000 divided by 256 is, right? I could just ask Siri, right? Or, just to give an example, right? So the quality of the questions you ask is going to determine the quality of your answers. So number one, a lot of time people are not asking questions. You know what I mean? A lot of the time people are just, they have the right intention, they got their laptop open, they're on the call, they got their ears on, you know what I mean? But they're not necessarily asking the right questions that's going to give them the answers to what's going to, give them that clarity as far as what they need to then implement, right? So now what if, right, that's kind of like the introduction. So then with all that being said, right, what if I told you that in your pocket right now or on your desk right now, the same technology, the same piece of hardware that you're using to plug into this call can be your personal assistant, right? It could be your personal assistant when it comes to life, just your daily routines. It could be your personal assistant with any sort of goal you're trying to accomplish, whether it's trading, building a business, fulfilling your purpose, whatever it might be. And you have that option, and it's an option because not everybody's using it, right? So it doesn't cost money, right? It just costs the cost behind is really just that intention and that resourcefulness, right? So I really hope you guys are kind of seeing that, not only opportunity, right? Because an opportunity is always going to be there, but the need to take advantage of that opportunity, right? That's why I'm doing this call. That's why I'm kind of sharing this with you guys here today. So I'm about to get into some tools here. I'm going to go over two quick tools that have been helping me out. Then I'm going to pass over to my boy, Will, which is going to go over some things that, I know you guys follow him on Instagram. I know you guys see, the results and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't come by just time, guys. It doesn't come by just, oh, I'm going to plug in 10 hours to all these Zoom calls and these go lives today, and that's what's going to give me the results I'm looking for, right? It's not like the markets, the marketplace, life in general doesn't care about like your intention or your work ethic or your wants, is going to care about what you're actually doing, right? Those actions. And then once you implement those actions, then you're going to have a certain amount of data that you can then, the data is going to be there. So it's up to you to collect it and really start to be able to use that to your advantage, right? So I dropped this before I get into the AI side of things. I dropped this just a second ago inside of all the Powerhouse chats, inside my personal mentorship chat here. But this is something that um, is very key for us, especially, you know, most of us here on this call right now being inside the same industry, right? And wanting to take advantage of multiple sources of income, wanting to build a business, wanting to just level up. You know what I mean? We're putting in a lot of time. We're putting in a lot of work, a lot of hours, right? So this right here is going to help you not only, right? One second, real quick. And give me some ones. I just want to make sure real quick. Let me get some ones if y'all can see my screen right now. You should have a graphic, right, with the system outlined. Cool. And I appreciate you guys, you know, being plugged in. So think of any sort of goal, right, that you want to accomplish, or whatever it might be, right? You can use this to kind of fill this in however you want, right? So for example, let's just say your goal is to get funded, right? Let's just say your goal is, and make it a specific number, right? Don't just say, oh, I want to learn how to trade, right? If the goal of learning how to trade was the ultimate goal, then there's no money behind that. You know what I mean? Like, your intention is it has to be something very specific and something that could be um achievable, you know, something that could be tracked. You can track your progress on the way there, that kind of thing. So, you know, whether it might be like a health goal, a personal goal, business goal, for this purpose, you know, I just used what is common to most of us here, right? For example, a goal of mine when it comes to trading is $200,000 in funding, right? There's multiple ways we can accomplish that. Has never been easier as far as that too. So I'm not even getting into that whole route with prop firms and everything, but you guys should know, right? So what's the purpose of me, you know, obtaining that 200K funded, right? I want to create an extra source of income, right? Or I want to um, grow that source of income to where it's going to be something that's going to be able to sustain me without me having to exert my energy elsewhere, right? So the purpose of your life shouldn't be, or the purpose of your life shouldn't be tied to money, right? You hear that, but unfortunately, in order for, you know, the average person to be functional in this society, right, you're going to need to pay your rent, you're going to have your car, you're going to have to pay bills. So we have to make money, right? But that shouldn't be your purpose, right? Our purpose, our energy, our creative abilities should be going towards something else, right? Whatever that is for you, you know, it's different for everybody. But with trading, right, you're able to take that money out of the equation, right? You're able to generate that source of income. That way, you know, you're not clocking in for 8 to 10 hours a day for the purpose of making money, right? Your money category set. Now you have your energy, you have your time to go in and accomplish whatever you want to accomplish, right? So that's why this whole thing is very important and we take it very seriously, right? So let's just say for whatever your goal might be, in this example, it's a 200K funded. You know, you always want to, even before we get into this side of things, you want to establish what the purpose is, right? Or why you're even wanting to accomplish that goal, right? So once you have that set, then there's going to be a set of actions, right, that you're going to have to take on a daily basis. And it's going to be more than one usually, right? So you can do this for all those different actions, or you can, you know, group them into one thing like I did here. And the most basic way I can just explain it, right, is in order for me to achieve the goal of the 200K funded, what does that look like on a daily basis? Is me following my trading plan, right? So then that takes us to the trading desk and Notion or whatever it might be. Like if you have your trading plan on your phone, if you have it written down in a notebook, you know, whatever it might be, you're not only gonna, you don't only want a record of it, like, you know, physical, right? Whether it be on paper, whether it be on the computer, you want a physical copy that outlines every single part of what you need to do, right? But you also need a place to be able to track those results. Remember how I said in order to achieve a goal, it has to be something that's that you're able to track, right? You're able to track your progress, you're able to track your activity. So then from there, you're able to take that data and you take a lesson from it, right? So once you take that lesson, put that into a tweet, put that into a YouTube video, put that into, your Discord, your trading desk for your purpose, right? For your own purpose, to be able to track and adjust and do that kind of thing. But now think about it. This is where that double value comes in, right? We're already doing all this work, right? We're already, waking up in the morning, following our trading plan. We're, staying disciplined. We're tracking our trades. We're going back and we're back testing with Neri on Saturday and really, adjusting and that kind of thing. Now, from there, you have a choice, right? And all those things that I just mentioned are requirements in order for you to get to your goal, right? In one way or another. So everything I've spoke to up to that point this is solely for you. You know what I mean? From there, right? Us being in a position where we're able to impact others and we're able to, help people generate that source of income. We're able to cut the learning curve, right? We're in a special place, in a special position where we're able to generate another source of income just by sharing the value that we're already implementing on a daily day basis, right? So we're already, staying disciplined. We're already tracking our wins, our losses. We're already evaluating at the end of the week. This last part, right? If you just take that and put it into something where the average person, the you that existed before this opportunity or whatever, something that person can use, you're able to share that value, then you're going to go a long way. You know what I mean? You're going to have a lot of people following you, because think about it. If you on a day-to-day basis focus on not only yourself and your future, right, but also, look at yourself at where you're at and notice that this person, this current version of you could have helped, the version of you from 2 years ago that was unaware of trading, unaware of, ways of making money online, right? So that person, that older version of you, there's hundreds of thousands of that person in the world right now, right? So we have a misconception that we need to get better at convincing people, right? We have our following, we have, our networks and that kind of thing, and we think that we need to get better at convincing them, or you need to see the vision or whatever it might be. That's not the way that is going to work more efficiently, right? The truth of the matter is that there's hundreds and thousands of people out there that were in that position that you were in, looking for something like this, right? All you have to do is work on yourself on a day-to-day basis, personally develop, put in the work, work towards your goals. And then there's one last step, is just sharing that value, right? So we're already doing 90% of it, fam. Like, we're already doing all these things that are required for us to achieve our goal. Now I'm saying, if you take that lesson, right, and you share it in a way where that average person can gain something from it, then you're getting double the value, right? So think of it in that way. Anything you do, right? If it's, if you have a talent with like cooking or baking, or, my boy Andy runs a detail shop, my boy Victor and T-Flow run a barbershop, right? So there's things that we're already doing on a day-to-day basis, either for fun or for, enjoyment, or to make money, right? And we're not the only one that enjoys or that, is in that same space as you. So you're already doing it, turn the camera on, you know what I mean? Or take the screenshot, right? You're already back tested, take that screenshot, write a quick message, share it to your Instagram. And that's going to give you double the value, right? So that's kind of how I wanted to start this training, just kind of giving you just an overall vision of not just how to accomplish your goals much faster, which is what I'm about to get into, but also being able to document that whole process and sharing it with somebody like you would have liked to have back in that day, right? So everybody with me, everybody drop some twos in the chat if you guys are getting some value, ready to get into the actual meat and potatoes of this training. Cool. I appreciate everybody. So let's see here. One of the main tools that I'm gonna go into today is probably something you've heard of already before, unless you're living um, under a rock somewhere. But is this tool that, again, I'm sure you've heard of before, called ChatGPT, right? So drop some ones in the chat, and just drop one, like just one of them, just so I could see, get a good idea of, there's 30 people on this call right now, right? Let me see how many of y'all, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the list keeps going. But most of us, are on the internet, and we have Instagram, we have TikTok, so we've heard of something like ChatGPT. Now, this is not the only tool, and I don't have time to really go into it, but I'm gonna go into this tool that's gonna help you with your trading. I'm gonna go into a tool called Midjourney, which is amazing. I just started using it, and that's gonna help you with the end part of that system, or that equation. Right, when it comes to the sharing value part, right? I'm gonna make it very easy for you, and I'll give you a simple guideline on how to reach a lot more people in a more original and a more kind of captivating way, right? So Chat GPT, guys, we're in the era of answers, right? Google was the era of information, right? We still say it as far as like, oh, we need an answer, let's Google it, right? You're going to get a lot of information on Google, right? Then you're going to have to kind of, sift through all the different links, all the different information that Google's going to give you, and you're going to go in and find your answer, right? Now, something like this, the quality of your answers is going to depend on the quality of your questions, right? So start using this. This is a free tool. All you have to do is just create a simple account, and you guys can see, right? These are not like, for example, for every single one of these, right? There's a whole history of me asking a question, tweaking the way I asked the question to get a slightly different one, asking it to explain it in a different way. I can literally go in here and say, okay, give me an outline for the major topics to be covered inside of a Forex course. And I say that because I've done that, right? So it'll come on here and it'll give you, okay, cool, like fundamental analysis, technical analysis, market participants. So let's give an example and let's ask, right? So give me an outline for a beginner's Forex course. And this is a very general question. I know it's pretty specific, but I can still, give it more detail, right? I can ask it, give me an outline for a beginner's Forex course centered around technical analysis. I can, ask it for a course centered around fundamentals. I could ask it for a smart money style course. I can ask it, give me an outline for a beginner's Forex course in a way that a fifth grader will understand it, right? So those little tweaks here and there are going to give you completely different answers, right? And it's up to you, again, to find the right question, right? If you find the right question, you get the right answer. So let's just, for example, drop that. Let's see what it gives us here. Right? So already, check this out, right? Certainly, here's the basic outline. Module 1, bro, like it already put it into these different modules, right? So module 1, and bro, you see the simple question I asked, right? Understanding what Forex is. Here's some bullet points. The Forex market structure, key Forex concepts, fundamental analysis. So a bunch of information, right? So from here, you can then take this information, add on to it, remove things, organize it in a different way, because this is artificial intelligence. But what's better than that is infinite intelligence, right? As we all know, we're all made in the image of God. We all have that creative ability, right? That God created the universe with. So we don't have every single aspect, right? We can't create from nothing like He can, but we can create from something, right? And we can't create, we don't have every aspect of creativity that He does to create the earth, the trees, the the nervous system, whatever it might be, but we have at least one aspect of His creativity, right? So it's our job to kind of find that, build a purpose around that gift, and make content, make things in a way where the general person can understand. right? If you do those three things, you're going to have a ton of people following, right? So that's kind of just a quick little introduction here, right? As far as just the value of ChatGPT. Now, this specific thing here is something I asked it, and yo, the answers are unlimited, or they're only limited by your imagination, right? And your awareness of what you need, right? So for example, for a while, I was very aware that I needed to understand fundamental analysis a lot better, right? I did my Googling and it gave me the information, but it didn't give me the answers. I studied, um, I studied just the economic calendar and went in and studied all the different news events and how they affect the dollar. And I hopped on to go live with Jordan and Zach and got a lot of information as far as what fundamental analysis really is. Like, I know I'm not the only one, fam. Like, and if I know how much research I've done, I know that a lot of people on this call could probably use a better understanding of how fundamentals and news events work, right? I mean, I'm just being real. So me understanding that need, that's the first part, right? Is you got to understand what answer you need, right? You need to understand what the need is, right? From there, you need to understand what question to ask in order to get that answer. And number three, you need to know where to ask it, right? So where to ask it is ChatGPT. The other part is completely and specifically up to you, right? So if you don't know what you need, neither do I, you know what I mean? But for example here, like I asked it just something very simple, like not that. How does fundamental analysis and news events impact the US dollar, right? So isn't that something that we all need an answer to, right? Then why haven't you guys seek that answer? Or maybe you have seek the answer, but we have Go Live, we have all that stuff. This is something that's going to get you an answer a lot quicker. Now, this is not going to teach you how to trade. Don't get me wrong. You can ask it all the questions you want, but it's not going to be as efficient as, having the live educator, having the community, that kind of thing. But if there's something that's holding you back, if there's a little piece of the puzzle that's missing, that's, stopping you from, just going to that next level, now you know where to get that answer, right? So simple question: how does fundamental analysis and news events impact the dollar? Fundamental analysis in Forex involves analyzing economic, social, and political factors that can influence the value of a currency. News events, which often relate to economic data releases, geopolitical developments, and central bank decisions, play a significant role in analysis. Here's how fundamental analysis and news impacts the dollar. So economic data releases, interest rates, geopolitical events, risk and sentiment, expectations and speculation, flight to quality. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this one. During times of global uncertainty or financial instability, the US dollar tends to benefit from flight to quality. This means that investors seek safe assets, including the US dollar, treasuries, and other ways to protect capital. So for example, some event that I can imagine, other countries or holders of other types of currencies wanting to go to a safe currency like the dollar. And we all know that there's not a lot behind it, but there's at least I guess it's just like community value. Like there's not a piece of gold back in the dollar anymore, but we all have an agreement that it's worth something, right? So for example, with whenever the war in Russia and Ukraine initially hit the general media or the news or whatever, then we saw a raise in the price of the dollar, right? So that's something that's going to affect the DXY. Now, this is a very general question, so I got a very general answer, right? It gave me pretty much all like the outline of what I need. But remember that you can always, I could ask it, how does the fundamental analysis news events impact the dollar in a way a fifth grader can understand it? And it's going to give me a whole different question. Now, you can also ask a more specific question, like, for example, with me, how does FOMC release affect the US dollar, right? So now I'm not just asking something very general, like how does, an economic event impact the dollar? but I'm asking about a specific event that I want to know more about, right? So here, let's see what it says. The Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, released a crucial event that significantly impacted the dollar and global financial markets. The FOMC is a branch of the U.S. Federal Reserve responsible for setting monetary policy, including decision on interest rates. Here's how the FOMC release affects the dollar. And there's all your information right now. Even here, right? So this is a lot of info. Now, there's a very specific question that I needed the answer to. And yo, I heard multiple people explain it. I Googled it, I went and did my research, but for a certain amount of time, I understood what it was saying. I was like, okay, cool. Like obviously if the interest rate is higher, then this certain thing is going to happen to the DXY. But my question, like I guess my real question, and I wasn't aware of this at the beginning, was, okay, cool, is the dollar going up or down? You know what I mean? Like it gave me the answer that for the question that I asked it, right? It gave me how it affects it. But my real question was, okay, cool. So now is the dollar going to go up or is it going to go down? You feel me? And, I'm not the smartest person, but, I feel like I am, I do my reading. I try to stay plugged in with all my Go Live. And I know how much work I do, right? And if I was still having, that level of uncertainty, I could imagine how many people, are sitting here in that chair right now, still needing more clarification. So make sure you use your tools, right? So now let's just say, for example, if FOMC data comes out lower than expected, does DXY go up or down? And bro, I'm not even using correct grammar. I'm not even looking for the fanciest word, the more effective word to ask it. But I'm just asking something just very simple here for the example, right? If the FOMC data comes out lower than expected, it typically leads to expectations of a more dovish monetary policy stance. So this is another word for bullish. A dovish stance implies that the central bank might be more inclined to maintain or even lower interest rates. Or sorry, dovish means bearish. It implies that the central bank might be more inclined to maintain or even lower interest rates to support economic growth. In this context, right? So now let's just say you were confirmed or were confused, right? You gotta know, like there's gonna be a lot of things that you're not even aware that you need, right? So for example, right here, I need clarification on what is dovish when it comes to financial terms. And guys, like, don't be embarrassed to ask ChatGPT for what you need. If you have to add, like, if you have to tell it, okay, that's cool and all, but now explain it a little bit simpler, right? If you have to ask it, what does bullish and bearish means, right? Go in and on your own time. You ain't got to share it with nobody. But moral of the story today is get the answers that you need, right? So in financial economic terms, dovish refers to a policy stance or a statement that indicates caution or accommodative approach to monetary policy. Dovishness implies a preference for measures that promote economic growth, even if they involve. All right, cool. So now explain that in simple terms for me, bro. Like, I get it, you know what I mean? But I don't. Sure. Imagine the economy is like a car. Sometimes the car goes too slow and we want it to go faster. Dovish means that the people in charge, like the government or central bank, wants to press the gas pedal to make the car speed up. They might do this, making it cheaper to borrow money, right? So just kind of a quick example of where to ask the question, what kind of question to ask, how to edit the question, how to tweak it, how to take all this information. Bro, I could write a book just basically off ChatGPT, and I am. It's a I Am Academy, right? It's a coloring book, which I'm going to show you guys here real quick. I'm about to transition into the last part of my training, and I'm going to send it off to my boy Will, right? So use ChatGPT. It's literally this simple, guys. There's no other like there's nothing else to it. You come in here and you're going to start a new chat. Like there's no other option. Yeah, it's not confusing. My grandma can do it, like make sure you're using it, right? There's no excuse. I've asked it things like give me a caption for an Instagram post based off of a Bible quote, right? Or give me a Bible quote that deals with abundance, right? Or whatever, right? So just be creative, right? So when we think back on that system that I kind of mentioned, where it's like, don't just get the answer, right? And don't just implement the answer, but share the answer, right? And you want to do it in a way that's pleasing to people, right? So I'm about to get into this part, right? So my part of the training here is really how to get just the information you need to be able to accomplish your goals much faster, right? That way you guys don't get stuck on something very simple that the answer's out there with, right? I'm about to get into the social media part. And what my boy Will is going to go into is like basically everything in between, right? It's having a trading plan to begin with, having a trading desk, where you store it, where you're able to track and that kind of thing, and how to really, journal and keep track and that kind of stuff, right? So we're really going kind of A to Z here. Now I'm mainly going over A and Z, and then Will, you got B through Y, bro. You got me. But his part's going to be quick as well, guys. Just very, very simple, very effective. Let's go into another app here called Midjourney. Drop some ones in the chat before I get into it if you guys have ever heard of Midjourney before. And this is one that might not be the most common one out there, but okay, cool. We got some people that live on ground level here in the era of answers and information. So I have my Discord, guys. I mainly use my Discord for trading purposes. And I'll show you here. It usually does take a minute to pop up here. Oh man, it's gonna make me log in. Here, let me get my QR code pop in real quick. Man, this thing logs me out every single time. Y'all getting some value? Anybody with me? Anybody learning something? Drop some twos for me. I'd hate to waste y'all's time. You know what I mean? If you guys are on here, it probably means that we're learning something. But cool, man. I appreciate you guys plugged in on a Friday night with me. Check your phone. I'm checking my phone. Hold on. One quick second. Let me get this straight out. Cool. So I think I remember it actually. So let's go. It's usually not that hard to log in. It usually just scans the QR code from my phone and logs me right in. But we're on a call, obviously, so it's going to act up. All right, cool. So let me just get this backup code here. Cool. Make sure everything you're doing is backed by two-factor authentication. 516843. All right, bet. So sorry about that. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you guys. Cool. So my main thing for using Discord and how I really got started with it, guys, is really this part of the equation here, right? So when it comes to the tracking, I do most of that on my trading desk. My Discord is really where I, keep a record or a notebook. That's right, bro. Really a place to just me keeping track of just lessons, not only for myself, but most of us are here building a team, right? This was my intent to make it easier for not just my team, but like everybody, right? So for example, here I have these different, I guess you can call them notebooks, right? So like I have a price action one where I've studied different examples of Wyckoff, right? Accumulation, manipulation, expansion, distributions, like you guys can see, right? And one thing about me, if you guys don't know already, is I do my back testing. That's one thing about me. So here, I'm studying market structure, right? I got my markups, and you'll see just by the change of colors here, how long I've really been doing this, right? You're going to see all different types of colors and then just trading styles, and it's beautiful, right? You're able to document the process. But here's my examples of, change of character. And guys, even though you understand something, once you put it into something physical that your two eyeballs can see, it's going to affirm it to yourself that you understand it a lot better, right? Then if you're able to teach that to somebody, then you're really going to master it here pretty soon, right? So here's more examples of just, uptrends, breaks of structure, changes of character, how that all ties in with like trade ideas. And these are only like the cleanest examples that I have for myself here. Like this is not like I'm talking about folders, right? So I got you, Polo. I'll send that into the Powerhouse chat as soon as I hand it over to Will here. But as you guys can see, like just different, every single smart money concept here, right? I'm studying, liquidity in different ways, not just with the pictures, but dropping my understanding of it. When you put something into words, guys, you know what I mean? It's that different level, institutional candles and so on and so forth, right? So I just wanted to show you guys my Discord and kind of how that ties into the lesson part, right? So I take my trading desk at the end of the week, which Will's about to go over. I analyze, I find certain markups, and I turn it into a lesson, right? So from here, I have multiple things here. Now, what I do from here is I'll take, one of the, like, for example, this picture, write out a small description. It's good for you to do it in your own words. That way you're learning it and you're able to work on that communication aspect as well. But even if you didn't want to go through all that, I could just take this picture, go over here and be like, hey, write me a caption for Instagram regarding market manipulation. And it's going to come up with something way smarter than I really have time or really a need to sit there and really think about it. You know what I mean? So just kind of showing you guys how it all works together, right? That's my Discord. I'll send the link. Actually, let me see if I can do it from here before I forget, bro. How do I even do that? I've done it before. Invite and copy. Let me go Powerhouse chat real quick. Man, I know you guys are pulling up to those trading workshops, man. Be ashamed to spend all this time on these Zoom calls and the professionals are coming to your city and we're not there. It can't happen, right? So that's my Discord as far as like my smart money, notebook is really what it is. The last part of my training here, I want to show you guys about Midjourney, right? So Midjourney is actually ran through the Discord server, right? So it actually all works together here. What Midjourney is a artificial intelligence whose purpose is to create images, right? So ChatGPT, its purpose is to solve problems or give you answers. Midjourney is anything graphic, right? So I studied graphic design. I know Neri's on here and she can, tell you guys how much time it takes to really put together just something visually pleasing. You know what I mean? Now, when you're talking about something that is going to do that even more effective for you, have you guys ever seen like the pictures of Donald Trump walking with a mob of people and the bombs going out in the back like the Joker? Have you guys ever seen the Pope dripped out in Balenciaga? And this right here, guys, is where those images are being created, right? So this is definitely the most advanced software out there right now for artificial intelligence image generation. So just like GPT, the quality of your input is going to determine the quality of the output, right? Photo of a chameleon reading a book in an old English library, right? So anytime you type in a prompt, it's going to give you 4 iterations of it. From there, you can either, like, let's just say I like this picture number 4, I can upscale it and it's going to give me the high quality version of that. Or if I like, for example, version 4, but I want, some different iterations of it, then I can click V4 here, and it's going to give me 4 different variations of whichever one I pick. So here's another one: birthday vibes, abstract, hyper realistic, right? Actually, like, you can upload a picture and have it edit the picture for you, bro. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, here's this guy. There's something behind this, right? I hope he's not just over here like doing this for the pleasure of his imagination, which is completely cool too. You know what I mean? But right, here's that one. He liked one of those pictures and he requested a larger version of it. Right, keeps editing it. Symbol for Slavic goddess. Right, guys. So this is literally a very high powered software here that you can use to build your brand, right? Like, let's just say, for example, I go to ChatGPT, I ask it for the seven fundamentals of forex trading. Let's just say something very general, right? I take that, copy it into my notes, then I go to Midjourney and I ask it for a picture of money being traded, hyper realistic, 4D quality, include Bitcoin in there. Like, you know, anything you tell this thing to, and I'm going to give you guys just a couple examples right now in a second. But now you have your copyright, which is like the words or like the text, and now you have your graphic, right? So just from that, now I have 7 different posts. I can go on social media and share value for a week straight. I can then go into Instagram, schedule those posts out for 7 days a week, and my job is done for the week, right? So these are all general chat rooms where, you know, anybody can, you know, discuss in here. For example, this guy, yeah, I kind of like some of these. A lot of dollars falling from the sky in Beijing. So like, this is a little bit more specific now, right? Now you can see, you know, it putting it together. Then from here, you know, I could even ask it to, you know, give me a higher quality version of this one, and then from there start editing it and giving it different inputs, right? So from there I can make variations. I can, you know, zoom in, zoom out, right? So look at how high quality all this stuff is. Is there a forex trader inside this chat? What was that? An invisible hand controlling a globe with glowing social media logos around. So like, bro, this is pretty fire. You know what I mean? Anything you're doing, you know, there's no more a need for you to go out and you know, Google Images something, right? That's old school, right? I never thought we'd get to this point, but Google Images, bro, like seriously, right? You're looking for stock photos, like yo, you can literally create something, and people have fun with it, as you guys can see. You can literally create something completely original, um, you know, with the assistance of something like AI, right? So this is my kind of general chat room here, and I'll show you guys some of the things that I don't know where exactly I have most of these, but like, look, I was thinking of something in my mind, as you can see, how many iterations I did here. For example, cloaked, esoteric man, National Geographic style. So there's different styles, there's different inputs you can give it. Like I could say Pixar style, and it's gonna give me a cartoon. Like literally, it's gonna look like Pixar created it. And then you know, I like one of them. I kind of change what I'm looking for. I pick one that I like. I start finding variations of it, and you know, you're just doing that. But like, let's just say, for example, here, let me give you an example before I hand it over to Will. This has gone a little bit more than I thought, fam. But you know, I hope you guys are definitely learning something, right? So all I have to do here is just give it a prompt. For example, the prompt for it to start creating something is imagine, right? So let's just say I do a trophy, to shout out Powerhouse, right? Hyper realistic, let's just say HD, money flying. Like, I don't know, fam. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. That's what's in mind right now, right? So for example, here it's gonna take a little bit of time. Right now, saying it's saying waiting to start. It'll start pretty soon, and it's gonna start to generate this image, right? It's going to take a little bit of time. Now, while it's doing this, this one is not free. So I do pay $10 a month for 3 hours of generation time, right? There's other packages I can purchase with faster speeds, you know, more high qualities, you know, different things like that. And I just had the most basic pack. So it gives you, you know, 3 different things. So oh, because I didn't spell that right. Let's see. Let's just say, let's be specific with it here. Let's say golden trophy with money in it. Hyper realistic HD, right? Just something very simple. Like I spent my whole first month just playing with the different ways to kind of give it. Oh, bro, what am I doing? Hold on. Let me go copy. I have to give it the prompt first. And I see the question in the chat. Just give me a second. All right, so hey, bro, do they have an app as well, or just a website for GPT? It's an app as well, bro. You can get it on your phone, and it's very simple to use for sure. Cool. So let's see what it generates, right? And again, I'm only going to give one example. You know what I mean? I'd like to, sit here and give you guys more examples, but I know you guys are mainly here for the trading stuff. I just kind of saw this as an opportunity for you to just be aware of another tool, help you step up that social media, be different, family. Like, there's a lot of content out there. Like, if you want people to follow you, then you have to be different at some point, right? So that's sick, right? So now let's just say I like image number 2, right? I can have it upscale it for me, so that way I can get the high quality version of it, right? So it's pretty high quality, right? So from here, I can use that, download it. There's different commands you can do, like change the aspect ratio. That way, if you want like a wallpaper for your laptop, for example, it'll make it that specific size. Or if I want something that's in like that in a phone format for like a reel or something, then there's specific things you can ask it to do. It's so powerful. I'm surprised on just the era that we're in, right? But here, for example, let's just say I like that version number 2, but I do want a few more versions of that, right? And I could have edited. I just saw that I spelled something wrong again. So I should have fixed that, right? But even just off of that, it gave me something workable. I like this image. So I asked it to give me 4 more examples of something pretty closely related to that, right? Which one it is, please. Thank you for sending that, Will. Good question, Miguel. You know what I mean? You gotta have questions if you want answers. So let's see, these are all going to be fairly similar. From there, I can ask it to give me just a way different variation where it's completely different from any of these guys, right? I could take this one and add a specific background to it. Let's just say I like this picture, but now I want to add some Bitcoin to it. And it's going to do it all in a way that's visually pleasing. And I wish I had enough time to get into like how I'm using this personally to start my e-commerce store, guys. I'm building a coloring book, right? I'm not going to give you guys the name of it yet because it's definitely going to be, a good Christmas present for you and your young ones. But I saw Chris Reef on what's it called, on one of the e-commerce calls for the virtual convention. And he gave out basically some free prompts for you to ask ChatGPT and Midjourney to create, a coloring book or whatever, like a calendar, like whatever you like. All these digital products, fam, are things you can sell on the internet, and people are going to pay a lot of money for them, right? So there's a lot of opportunity out there, especially in the age we're in. I appreciate you guys listening to me for an hour, just going on. It's not a rabbit hole really, right? Because it's here, it's real. So I hope you guys got some value. Hope you guys have a good 15-20 minutes to really plug into this last part here, because this is what's really going to take your trading to the next level. You know what I mean? I know that's what we're all here for. So with that being said, let me make this man host. One more time, I appreciate you, my brother. And let's run it up. Let's see, make co-host. All right, well, take it away, bro.
Was good. So my part's going to be super quick, super simple. It's going to be going over mainly, Notion and what I use it for and whatnot. So let me just get right into it. But before I do that, like, how many of you guys actually have used Notion before? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know while I drag this over. Cool. Get this set up. Let me see. What do we got? We got Neri. We got Raf. Yeah, Neri. Yeah, like once you use Notion like once or twice and like start diving deep into it, it's gonna be addicting. At first, it's intimidating. You're like, damn, this is a lot. But as you get more into it, it does become something that you can use on a daily basis. But I mainly use it for my daily routine and my trading plan, right? And I do have a lot of screenshots on here as well, but I recommend everyone have a daily routine, right? Because trading is mainly psychological, right? So I recommend having like your daily routine on lock before you even start trying to trade and all that. Because if you don't, like, if your life is a mess, your trading is going to be a mess, right? So me personally, if I don't have these three checked off, wake up at 5 a.m., exercise and meditate. If I don't have these three checked off before I start the NAS call, then like it's not going to be a good call, right? But I typically do. I really don't slip up on this, right? And I like to go in depth with these. Like if you click on these tabs here, it gives you more information. Like when it comes to exercises, I'm doing my push-ups, my squats, my jump rope, my dumbbells. I even have like my whole like body analysis on here as well. Like you can save screenshots on here. It's crazy. And when it comes to like meditation, I do the breathing technique, Wim Hof, right? Wim Hof. I don't know how to spell it, but I do this pretty much every day as my breathing technique, as my meditation. I have this thing called a spine deck. It's like you lay on it and it readjusts your spine and keeps it aligned and it keeps your posture, because I tend to slouch a lot because I'm tall. So I like to keep my posture as straight as possible. Right. And then I do like to sit sometimes in complete silence for like 10 minutes and like do what I'm doing or meditate as well, because we're always so distracted by noises and notifications and this sound and that sound. It's like, have you ever just sat down in complete silence and just thought, or like not thought? Like try it out. Try it out. It'll change your whole mind. It like resets your whole like central nervous system, because we're so bombarded on a daily basis with so many distractions. It's crazy. And you know me, I love my frequency music. Every single night when I'm going to sleep, I play my frequency music. I have a whole playlist. It's super good. And like you sleep good as well. Like you can sleep late and play the frequency music and wake up and feel like you slept 8 hours. And even sometimes my dreams are like crazy more vivid because of the frequency music, right? And then I am saving up for this DNA key right here. This is some craziness right here. It's like a stainless steel rod, like this huge, and it freaking like you hit it with this hammer and it literally vibrates at a certain tune frequency in your hand. It's not on YouTube, it's not on your phone, it's actually like a live frequency that you can hold in your hand, and like it's crazy, right? And yeah, Polo, for the link, just message me on the side. I got the whole list for that as well, the whole playlist on YouTube. And then of course, New York session, affirmations and gratitude. Like I don't even get it on my bed unless I've already expressed gratitude and gratefulness. Like as soon as I wake up, I open my eyes and I thank you, God, for another day. Thank you for this comfortable ass bed. Thank you for this water I'm about to drink. Thank you for the shower I'm about to take. Thank you for allowing me to have a roof over my head and all this coming in. Like I'm not even getting out of bed or checking my phone unless I did these affirmations and gratitude, right? The next one, build a business. For me, building the business is, being intentional on social media, right? Building more leads, tap rooting, building relationships with people, starting conversations on people's stories. Like you can literally go on someone's on like the search bar and like look at the explore page, find some cool pages and like watch people's stories and like just comment on their stuff. Oh, that's dope. What is this? What is that? Right. So I love to engage and show love, because if you want people to show love on your page, if you want people to engage with you on your stories, you got to engage on theirs, right? You got to show love to get love. And I do my best to follow like 10 new people a day, right? I've made a bunch of highlights on my profile. Like if you haven't seen my highlights on my profile, it's so much, social proof and evidence right there. Like it's all pretty much maxed out. And frequently asked questions. I was getting into that as well. I've been doing IG Live more recently with Krista as well. That's super solid for building in more leads and having people interact with you more. And running more teams with running more calls with my team, right? Like NAS call is cool, but I do want to get more into like running more calls for my team specifically. You know, I love working with new individuals. I want to make sure the team is system reliant, which is the Powerhouse website. Powerhouse website. If you're on this call and you don't utilize the Powerhouse website, or when someone new comes into your team and you're not making sure they understand how to navigate through the Powerhouse website, you're playing yourself, because we literally broke down everything step by step. So people really shouldn't be confused. They really shouldn't be confused about the next step and all that. So plug into that as well. Personal growth for me is mainly mornings with Nino. I've been watching him every day pretty much since 2020. Now he does it 3 times a week, but in the meantime, if he's not doing a call, then I'll hop on YouTube. I have a whole like playlist of like 200 videos of personal development. I just hit shuffle and whatever one plays, plays, right? I do read every day as well. I like to read the Bible outside, standing in front of the sun. So I'm sunbathing and reading the word of God at the same time for at least 5 minutes a day. And like that automatically makes you feel good as well, right? And as far as writing, I do write in my journal every single day. And I like to write like my whole entire journal entry. And at the very end, I write down my goals 3 times. And then I say it out loud 3 times while following along with my finger. Because when you actually want something to stick, you have to use as many senses as possible. So if you're saying it out loud, that's hearing, right? So like you hear it. And then if you're writing it, that's another sense, is touch, right? And then if you're actually using it with your finger and you're saying it, like use as many senses as possible when you're expressing your goals, because it lets it come to fruition more clearly, right? And I do have my own Discord as well, because I know in here we have your you have your trading journal, but before I got this trading desk, I actually had my Discord and I was putting all my trades every day, every single day. Like this is what we did. This is what we did. Like pretty much ever since I started the NAS calls over a year ago, I literally like every single day after the NAS call, I screenshotted the chart and I put it in Discord. I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I saw today. This is what we took. And I'm using that as a funnel because I have a Discord specifically for trading. I mean, a Twitter specifically for trading, where I funnel those people into my Discord and then from Discord into the academy. So far, I've gotten like one person, but it is what it is. I'm gonna keep doing at it and see how that goes, right? And then Facebook, of course, if we're not in the Facebook group, you should be in there. You should be dropping value in there. I know we got the Telegram, but Facebook is cool too, right? People use Facebook as well, just as much as Instagram. Facebook came out before Instagram. Facebook bought Instagram, so you might as well use that as a funnel as well. If you ever talk to somebody and they don't join the business, or they're like, or they're questionable, add them to the Facebook group. It's free and they can get FOMO from that. If all of us are posting people's results and people getting funded and withdrawing, and then maybe some mindset, some events, all that stuff, people are going to get FOMO. Like, what is Powerhouse? Like, what is this group? I want to learn more. So take advantage of that. And of course, I'm doing my Spanish every day. I'm like on a 120-day streak right now. So that's been going good. They don't speak as fast as they should. Sometimes they speak super slow on the app, but I'm pretty sure if I hang around Neri speaking Spanish fast, as like super fast, I'll learn that, faster. But yeah, that's pretty much my daily routine. And me personally, I don't even open Instagram until this is done, right? Because I don't deserve to be on social media being distracted and all this stuff if I haven't even finished my daily routine. I'm not gonna go out or do anything fun or indulge in anything if I haven't even done my daily routine, because you don't really deserve it. If you can't even do this, like what are you doing? Right? This is bare minimum basic right here. This is the bare minimum. And then when it comes to my trading plan, I recommend you guys write down your actual trading plan. Like write it down somewhere and have it written down so you see it, know exactly what you're looking for. Because I've asked people what their trading plan is and they can't really tell me, or they can't really show me, but you should have it. You should definitely have it, right? Like, because the markets will take from the impatient and give to the patient, right? So if you don't have this plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. right? So I love to have, the monthly, start on the monthly, go to the weekly, daily, and work my way down. Because I've asked some people that come over to my house, yo, like mark up your chart for me. And they don't even go to the monthly chart. They're like on the 1 hour, 4 hour, marking up the chart. I'm like, bro, like you can't even see everything, right? You want to see the overall structure. You want to see every single candle on one screen. So you know exactly what's coming on. I mean, what's there. Like zoom out, like really zoom out, see the whole entire picture, and then work your way in. It's like a microscope. You want to zoom out, see everything, and then zoom in. So I like to go from here and pretty much look for, imbalances, order blocks, breaks of structure. I like to draw the Fibonacci on the monthly because that's the overall structure. So I'm gonna find the lowest swing low, the highest swing high on the monthly, draw the fib and see like what's going on. See where we're at. Are we at the 50%, 618, 886? Like what's good? And then I work my way down to the weekly for more direction, more Wyckoff head and shoulders. I look for, swing structure, internal structure, liquidity, work my way down to the 4 hour, 1 hour. I look for more head and shoulders, more Wyckoff. Like I like to find a higher time frame zone on the monthly or the weekly, and then go down on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. And then once price is in that zone that I found on the monthly or the weekly, I want to find another setup on the 1 hour inside of that zone. So if you got a monthly head and shoulders, and then price is in that right shoulder on the monthly, go down to the 1 hour and 4 hour and find another head and shoulders in that same zone to give you even more confluence, to give you even more of a confirmation that price wants to respect it. That's how I like to do it. Right. And then keep working your way down. Like what's your risk management? Me personally, like if I lose like 1%, maybe like 3% is my max. Like if I'm convicted in this trade, like I know it's about to drop or go up, I don't mind taking some more risk. But if I take a 3% risk and like in one day, I'm done for the week, right? Maybe 2 weeks. But I typically like to keep it like 1% and below, because if you take too many losses, it can mess you up. So I'm just like, nah, I'm done for the day, I'm done for the week, whatever. I'll come back again next week. And then trade management. That's going to be the big important one. Like today on the NAS sells, I caught like a 1 to like 10 sell on NAS, and I'm glad I closed out. I had like 2 entries. I closed one out at like a 1 to 5, and I closed another one out at like a 1 to 7. And I'm glad I did, because if I would have held it, I would have got stopped out at break even, and I would have been hot, right? Because price came right back to the entry. So, swinging is cool. I like to swing as well, but at the same time, you should always at least get a 1 to 3, bare minimum. If you swing one, you want to get at least a 1 to 3 as well, right? So have at least 2 entries, 0.01s, or whatever you take. If you're like test trading, get a 1 to 3, and then let the other one ride out with the break even, and then boom, we're good. And then I only let my 0.01s ride on the weekend because that swap fee is ridiculous. If I got a 0.10 in over the weekend, they are charging you for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you can't really trade 2 days. So you're getting charged for not even trading. So I will close out 0.9, let the 0.01 ride because it's like $1 a day, which I don't mind. Right. So that's what I do really for the trading plan. Going back to the trading desk, right? I do have some setups in here as well that are more in depth, right? As far as like liquidity, breaks of structure, types of breaks of structure, right? It gets more deep. It gives more and more deep. What's up, Reggie? Right, more and more examples as well. One of the ones that I like the most, this one really like gave me a clicking moment right here. It was this one. Like I was saying before, like you have a 4 hour zone, right? Price comes to your 4 hour zone, and then once it gets into that 4 hour zone, go to the 15-minute or whatever, and look for the same setup again, right? Look for that same setup again, and then look on the right shoulder. Once price gets there, go to the 1 minute, look for it again. That's how you get that very tight stop loss. That's how you get the real confirmation. Sometimes it's not always this clean because, indices is toxic. It'll be a wick and then it's gone. But if you wait, that builds confidence. And that can help you, really go next level with that. So that's what I have on the trading desk, really. And again, I did have a trading journal. I was doing it here like putting screenshots and all that stuff, but I was already doing it like on my Discord. And I was like, let me just, do it on here and stay consistent. I've been doing this. Let me see. I think it froze real quick. Did it freeze? I literally froze. Give me 1 second. Let me exit out and go back in. Close it. But yeah, I've been doing this Discord for like a year now. Just literally every single day after the NAS call, I just drop a screenshot of what I saw, what went through my mind. Like that's pretty much my journal when it comes to trading. I want to go back to this as well, just to keep it all in one place. But let's see if this decides to act right. Act right or get left. You feel me? Let's see. What is it gonna do? I don't know why I decided to just do this right now. It never froze before. All right, cool. Yeah, so as you can see, like sometimes I like to scroll up and see how much my charts have changed. Like, look at this. Like all these colors and all this stuff I used to do, like similar setups, similar clean setups. But now I make it just less colorful and more just basic, more simple. As you go down, I have some examples in there, giving free value, divergence. I was getting more into the head and shoulders, like, using the actual tool. But once you're able to see it, then you're like able to see it. You don't got to use this stuff anymore, right? Just getting more into it. As you can see, more examples. The line chart, I was going crazy with the line chart, looking at that. Just more and more examples. I like to leave notes as well, so I know exactly what I was thinking at that time. And just wasn't just putting up a random chart and not having any type of annotations or no notes. You want to know exactly what went on in your mind, right? Talking about, news and how it can affect the market, putting in like my whole entire thought process on the actual trades. And this is just, more and more growth over time. Some profits sometimes, 0.01, nasty. Hey, Hunt, bet, just going with that. Let me see. This was crazy. Waiting for those NAS sell swings. Waiting for those NAS sell swings. Telling you. Right? Let me see. And I've been calling this right shoulder for a while on the monthly. Right? This is where we should have freaking sold. I was like, oh, strong close. It's gonna keep going up. Maybe the shoulder is gonna get violated. Nah. The next candle right here, that shit sold off. That thing sold off, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You live and you learn. But I know, Bobik. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I document a lot of stuff. Trading Desk is pretty solid. If you don't have it, I highly recommend, message me or the Powerhouse chat. Ask Mike Nav to drop the link again. I also have the link as well, but definitely tap into this and plug in. So that's gonna be it for me. I know we got the levels call coming up here in 45 minutes, but if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, let me know. And I'll pass it back to Raf. My guy, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Let's get it.
Let's get it, bro. That was fire. Man, I can't imagine packing more value into an hour and 18 minutes, to be real. Like we took y'all from the agricultural age to how we're gonna make this NAS money, day in and day out. So there's a lot of tools shared, guys. If you guys have any questions on them or need any of these resources and still don't know how to find them, don't be afraid to reach out, right? The quality of your answers is going to be based off the quality of your questions. So thank you guys so much. I am gonna this is being recorded, so I'm going to post it on YouTube for everybody if you guys want to go over it one more time or whatever it might be. Well, I'm gonna send you a copy, bro. And everybody, thank you for plugging in on a Friday night with us. It was kind of a late last minute thing. Will, I didn't know I was gonna go in this deep, bro, but it just gets deep sometimes. So I appreciate you staying on here with me, bro, sharing your value. I appreciate, everybody on the other side of the Zoom here. And let's get it, family. Let's have a good weekend and a profitable week next week. hop onto levels coming up, right, bro? Like powerhouse, you feel me? We just had so much value. We're about to hop on to levels. We got back testing tomorrow. We got market outlook on Sunday, and then Nas 100 Monday through Friday. Y'all ain't excited about that? Get excited about it. Let's get it, family.